Let it go. 얼어붙어 like whoa. 띵하고 어지러워. I see. 한여름에도 난 겨울. Yeah, 거의 cold-blooded. Yeah, 너와 있을 때 I swear. 제가 먼저 zero 폭설한 그 children. 꿈에도 I wasn't aware. 나만 빼고 넌 모두에게 참 친절해. 배신감이 들어 단판이 돼도 머릿속을 흔들니 ibuprofen 그만해 it's time to stop. 승부욕을 자극하는 style. Yeah, 알면서도 마음이 자꾸 내게 가. 안만 빠져버릴까. If you want me back, I'll tell you I'm sorry. If you want me back, I'll tell you stop trying. Yeah, you got me. Let it go. 얼어붙어 like whoa. 띵하고 어지러워. I see. 한여름에도 넌 겨울. Yeah, girl, you're cold-blooded. Yeah, girl, you're cold-blooded. Yeah. Girl, you're cold-blooded. Girl, you're cold-blooded. I'm like frozen 뭐야 모두 stress은 gotta let it go 했어. 소개팅 데이팅 어플 다 깔아 또 보았어. 반대가 끌린대 opposites attract. Don't know about me and you, yeah we fell into the cracks. Yeah 깎고 너네 no cap. 왜 나는 보여 what's happening. 객관적일 수가 없이 이미 game white flag and wave it fast. Yeah I'm leaving back but 말은 don't 너만 보면 나도 내 맘 I don't know 이거 love a relationship 헷갈리기만 해 girl. I'll tell you I'm sorry. If you want me back, I'll tell you stop trying. Yeah, you got me. Let it go. 얼어붙어 like whoa. 띵하고 어지러워. I see. 한여름에도 넌 겨울. Girl, you cold-blooded. Let it go. 얼어붙어 like whoa. 띵하고 어지러워. I see. 한여름에도 넌 겨울. Yeah, girl, you cold-blooded. Yeah, girl, you cold-blooded. Yeah. Girl, you cold-blooded. Girl, you cold-blooded. Yeah, girl, you cold-blooded. Yeah. Girl, you cold-blooded. Girl, you cold-blooded.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on with you, everybody? It is good to see you on this fantastic Friday night. What's going on, folks? The one and the only Sir Hill Speaks is in the building. What's going on, folks? How are you guys? Let me know if I'm coming through crystal clear. If you guys can hear me pretty well. I'm feeling good. I feel like I'm looking pretty good. And I pray that you are doing good today. What's going on, folks? Welcome to another edition of Sir Hill Speaks on Friday. We're glad that you guys are here. We're getting ready to have a fantastic show. But before we do this, let me know in the comments. Can you guys hear me clearly? Am I coming through? Can you guys hear this? Let me know in the comments. It's good to see you, folks. A salute to the one of the only Bravo with Sheila Network is in the building already, showing some love. Take heed to the messages in the building. Miss Aniye is in the building. What's going on? And the Sheila Ingram Ministries Network, the Kabod, is here. I'm glad to see everybody, guys. Listen, we're going to have a fantastic show. This is going to be good. This is going to be one to remember. But before we do this, some house cleaning. As always, I'm telling you guys about this event, the Black Manosphere Conclave, that is coming up September 8th through the 10th. I want you guys to really focus on getting people there. Right, this is going to be a concerted effort to get people involved into this event. And we want to see more Black men not only take the lead in their own lives, but to be empowered when they take on families to keep on doing the same. So this Black Manosphere Conclave is aimed to do just that. I want to make sure that every man who wants to improve himself, his image, his look, his relationship skills, men who may be preparing for divorce, men who want to work out on their fitness, learn cloud and IT. I mean, there's a host of things. You need to be at the Black Manosphere Conclave. Now, some of you guys might be saying, I don't have an extra $500 or $1,000. Well, normally we would try to have some understanding, but I'm going to say this very candidly. If you don't have it, find a way to get it. You need to be at this event because it's going to be life changing, and you're going to have a chance to meet and network with people that you wouldn't have the opportunity to do otherwise. So think about the however much you spend to get there is literally an investment into yourself right now and into your future. All right. Can we do that, guys? You guys make sure whether you can make it or not, particularly to my lovely ladies. Where my lovely ladies at? Where the lovely ladies in the chat? Where y'all at? Y'all let me know that you guys are here. If you guys got a man in your life, a husband, a boyfriend, I want you guys to send them, first of all, to Sarah Speaks channel, but also to the Black Manosphere page. We want to make sure we get as many registered. We want to empower our men. All right. Ladies, y'all got me? What's going on, Lady Hell? What's going on with your baby? What's going on with your girlfriend? All right, y'all. So we're in for a treat tonight. I want to get to the show. Modern women. Hold on. Somebody come get the cat. Somebody come get the cat out of my office. If y'all see my cat Remy just go through my desk, it's my cat does some weird thing. Hold on, he about to mess up some cords. Somebody come get the cat. If y'all see my camera turn, it's because my cat is being ridiculous right now. I'm telling you, these pets are something else. Pets are something. I should have got me a horse or something. I don't know. Y'all come get the cat. So we're doing this show. Yeah, be careful. Be careful. Yep. So we're doing this show because we've got some things to discuss. We've got some things to discuss tonight. So before I get into this, we're going to be talking about Keke Palmer and Darius. But before we do this, I got to touch on something that I saw with Mr. Derrick Jaxn. I've got to address something that I saw. I've got to address this because a lot of people have opinions about Mr. Derrick Jaxn. And of course, if you are a man and you have been around in relationships for years and you see, you know, the business scheme of pandering to women, you know that dear brother Derrick Jaxn is a master panderer. But I want to explore a couple things as I saw an interview that he did. I forgot the channel's name, but it's an amazing channel he did the interview on. You guys in the chat, what channel did he do this? Dear Future Wife, Dear Future Wifey, or Dear Future Wife. That channel. It was a really good interview. I want to capture a clip of something he talked about, and I'm going to respond to this because I think we need to. Buckle your seatbelts. It's going to be interesting. Buckle your seatbelts. I want to play this for you guys, and I'm going to react to this.
Tough. But it's like, man, I can't be a victim, and my children need me.
Now, so let me give you guys context. So what he's doing here is he's explaining not simply why he cheated or why he's a cheater. He's explaining what was the impetus for him actually going through and filing for divorce. All right, so this is what we're talking about. This is the segment. I really want you guys to listen. I've got some feedback that I'm going to give that a lot of you probably are not going to like, but I want you guys to hear this. All right.
I can't fold. I put everybody in this situation and I wanted to fold. I had the gun on my lap. I wanted to fold. I wanted to be out.
You contemplated suicide?
I was on my way to pulling that trigger, but Marley came out. They were getting ready to go somewhere. Marley saw my tail lights on and said, "Ooh, daddy's here, daddy's here." Because I was out of the house for a while, and she came and jumped up on the door right at that moment.
Now, here's where a lot of you will have an issue with what he's saying. Just hearing this clip. A lot of you, if you see someone who has been found out to be not what they say they are, someone who doesn't have integrity, somebody who has, in this case, who has cheated on their wife, they can have a reason, right? Because we're focused on what they did. And people who are the perpetrators of hurt in any way don't get to have a reason. So I want you guys to not be biased as you listen, because it is very easy to look at the person who is the one who caused hurt to somebody else, and then we completely divorce them from the reasons for why they may have been the one to perpetuate pain. So I want you guys not to be biased. I really want you guys to listen to what he has to say.
Are you in a car?
Yeah, I was in my truck. I was just doing it in my truck.
In the driveway? In the garage or something?
No, it was in the driveway, in a little cul-de-sac. So after that, I was, kind of scared about how close I got to it. I'm like, I'm not telling nobody because of the shame of I did this and whatever. And I don't have no voice because I'm the bad guy. I'm the big bad wolf in everybody's eyes now. The resentment in the house is tenfold. I can't say enough about it. But one thing we had talked about was that I don't typically let nobody into my internal struggle, and I needed to do that. So I talked to Danae about it. Now we're not in a good place here again. And I talked to her about it, and she kind of stonewalled a little bit, just didn't have much to say. But that's when a little bit after that, I decided I couldn't do the marriage.
Now, so guys, I want you to listen. So the allegation and the reality of the infidelity has already come out. Of course, this is going to breed tension between the relationship between Derek White and his wife. So it's already there. With all this pain, with all that's going on, he's trying to have a heart-to-heart conversation as to what's going on. And so we've got to add some truth in here. When you have hurt somebody, you can't then use them to be your shoulder when you're the one who caused them hurt. This is a truth for anybody, for any situation. If you damage somebody, until they take the time to grow from what has occurred, until they've had time to really think about and consider what has happened to them, the steps that they're going to take to move forward, you can't hurt somebody and then they also be your shoulder to get things off of. This is where a therapist comes in, or having some friends. You've got to be able to leave them to their process and give them some time so that they're able to be there after you guys reconcile. But as long as they're in a state of hurt, it's very hard to reconcile, and then it's hard for them to be your friend when you hurt them. So this is a very interesting case, but you can kind of understand the human aspect of why his wife would stonewall and shut down when he's talking about his potential mental health concerns. In a perfect world, we would want to say that his wife should just understand him. But it's very hard to get somebody to understand your grief and your trauma when you've put them through it yourself. Let's play a little bit more, guys.
Anymore. This was in 2021 because she was laughing about it with her mom.
That she was going to commit suicide?
She was laughing about it with her mom. I got wind of the conversation. This is after some texts I saw. She was still talking to her mom about the marriage, which wasn't, who can't forgive after all the forgiveness I needed, But this one where I was like, not that she's so bad, in this moment, but it just made it clear how far away from me her heart has turned.
Did you divorce her? Did you say you wanted a divorce by text?
Yeah. At that time, and anytime we tried to talk, especially if it involved her mama, she either ended up yelling or she stonewalled, like blank face until I got done talking and had nothing to say. Learning therapy, she witnessed that about her mom yelling at a man, whatever. I never did, but I didn't do well with no yelling. So I knew this was to do with her mom, and I told her, hey, not only do I can't do this anymore, but this unresolved issue with your mom is a reason why. I don't know if she mentioned that or not, but a lot of people don't know. It had nothing to do with infidelity as far as why I decided I needed to leave. It was because we had talked about restoring the marriage, but we, pastors, counselors, over and over again, be catching that she had talked to her mom or brought her mom into the marriage, and her mama was very intent on staying in the marriage, giving play-by-plays of how to disrespect me, Now,
guys, I want you to hear that. I'm going to rewind that. I want you guys to hear that part.
Her mom into the marriage, and her mama was very intent on staying in the marriage, giving play-by-plays of how to disrespect me,
Now, this is a very interesting part here. This is very interesting because if you're going to be in a marriage, there is a certain part of hurt and grief that you're going to deal with. But what makes this kind of issue even worse is now other people have an opinion about your marriage. And it is very understandable and realistic that when a woman is going through grief, she's going to pull in her support system. The issue that made this even worse is, along with the infidelity, along with the breakdown in communication in their marriage, mother is giving feedback to her daughter as to how to stay in that marriage, but then giving, according to Derek Jackson, giving her instructions on how to be disrespectful to her man. Now, so let me say this to everybody. I think infidelity is wrong. There was no question about that, no way around that. There's no question around that. But let's be honest for a second. Let me just, there is details we give to people who are not going to stay. And then there are most people, particularly a lot of women, are going to stay in situations like this. One thing is for certain. If you were in a marriage and you guys go through something, You guys have some type of falling out, and the both of you sit down. You guys discuss working on your marriage. This is not up to anybody else. You guys decide. One thing you cannot do is bring someone else in and submit to their instruction about what to do for your marriage, particularly if your goal is to stay. Now, if you're trying to leave, that's one thing. But one thing that I see with a lot of women is it is the pulling on of women who don't give you great guidance on how to not only get out of something, but how to grow from it. You get women who give you advice on how to take revenge. Now, again, there's a flip side to this. There is a flip side to all of this. Again, you can't cheat on a woman, sir, and then expect her to be good and expect things to be peaches and cream. You hurt somebody, you don't get a chance to control how they respond to the hurt that you inflicted. But it's so many issues here. They're having conversations. Social media has their opinion. And then somebody is in his wife's ear telling her how to handle and pretty much make his life a living hell. And I'll say this so everybody's aware of this. I want you to find the sweetest person, because when we see these interviews, we essentially create a profile for what we think the person is. So when you hear this situation, typically, if you're on the wife's side, you think that the wife is justified in everything she did, and you can't see a reason as to why the marriage devolved like it did. If you're a Derrick Jaxn fan, then you're going to find a way to understand his perspective. I'm going to say something that's unpopular. I'm going to say something that's really unpopular. While I do not believe in infidelity, I want you guys to listen to me. I just want you to hear where I'm coming from. I don't believe in infidelity at all. If you don't want to be with the person you're with, I think you have to have the integrity to let them know this very clearly and to not lead them on. But I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you about my perspective on this. I think that it was easy to cheat on his wife. You guys are not going to like what I'm going to say. You're not going to like this. It was easy for him to cheat because I believe from his perspective, whether he wants to admit this or not, he outgrew his wife. I'm going to tell you where so many men make their mistake and why cheating comes in and why they start doing stupid stuff and hurting their relationships and hurting their marriage. A lot of times a man finds a woman on the level he's on now, right? For the level he's on now, he finds somebody who matches and is everything he needs on the level he's on. She's doing everything. She's your friend. She's your confidant. She's your peace of mind. She listens to your dreams and she supports your goals. You have this same level of love and affinity for her. You're there for her. You guys are talking for hours and hours a day. You two can't get enough of each other. You two probably in terms of looks, you look around the same. Like you're as cute of a guy or as cute of a girl as he is. So you guys match. Your interests are the same. The way that you dress are the same. You like some of the same television shows. And then what happens is somebody begins to grow. And the comfort that you guys and the friendship that you guys have, it takes a hit because what you were to each other on the level you are on now, slowly but surely, you guys are becoming two different people. And what's bonding you together is not this sense of purpose. It is not this sense of love. It's not even commitment. It is this sense of you don't want to make the person who's been there for you on your ascent, you don't want them to feel like you use them. Now, let me pause here for a second. Ladies, are you ladies hearing what I'm saying? Fellas, are you feeling what I'm saying? I want you to hear this. This is not an excuse to justify cheating. Again, if I want to make it very clear that cheating is wrong. But here is the ugly truth that we don't like to tell. Is that when somebody starts to grow, that sense of, I don't want this person to feel like I use them, or, this person was with me through thick and thin. That sometimes is the glue that keeps a relationship together, even when the person who you loved on the level you were on has not conditioned themselves for where you're going. Does that make sense? It's a very tough thing to say. And this is why you'll start to see people, you'll start to see whoever they go and date after, they're at a different tier. It's typically because a lot of men, whether we like to hear this or not, they will stay in a situation because they feel obligated to, not because they're necessarily committed to it. And then you throw on success, you throw in money, you throw on access. Most men don't know what to do with this. Ladies, I know you don't like this. I'm just telling you the truth from a man's perspective. I want you to understand that the cheating part is wrong. This is something that is unacceptable, but I'm giving you guys reasons. You throw into I'm growing, you throw into this, and then now you guys have come to a place in your relationship where there's infidelity. How do you recover from this? You can, like what they did before, if they went on the interview, you guys saw it. It's the famous interview where he comes on there with the sweater. His wife comes there looking like she's fresh out of the bed. And they try to correct it, but really what was going on is they were doing damage control, not actually going to the root of the issue. I just want you, let me go here. I'm just being real with you guys. I'm just being real with you guys. I'm just being real with you guys. The way when a man is ascending and the woman that's on his arm is not ascending with him, he becomes an easy target for women who want to give him what he needs on the level they're seeing him going. So you can't have a guy who's becoming successful, who has transformed his looks, who is working very hard, and you stay the same that you were when you guys met. This is tough to say. This is really tough to say because I come from the culture where you honor your relationships. It don't matter what goes on. If you're with somebody, you honor your commitment, you stick together no matter what. But this is just the real truth that most people won't give you. Ladies, if you have a man, and again, I'm not blaming her for what happened. I don't want you guys to get this, but I'm saying to you as a relationship coach, what most people cannot tell you. You can't get with somebody and stay on the level while they're growing because you're leaving a vacuum. You're leaving an opening for somebody who appreciates and can speak to him on the level that he's on to get there. Ladies, you can't have an attractive man and you come out the house any old kind of way. Again, this is not a justification for cheating. I'm just giving you the cold truth. Right? You can't. So ladies, you see your man ascending. He comes out, he's becoming a sort of mogul. The question is, ladies, are you growing with him? I'm going to tell you something that I saw old school ladies do. When I was growing up, this is where the Baptist church, we had Sunday school. This is when you went to church on Sunday morning. And if you got there early enough, you got some eggs or some donuts or something. You could get there early though. Back in this particular age, I noticed that the deacons and the pastor would come in with their clothes on, but every single first lady, every preacher's wife would make sure that there was a certain way she conducted and presented herself to the world. Back in those times, women wouldn't go out just any old kind of way. They would say things like this, I want to look like I'm with you. You understand? They would go out a certain way because they knew that how they represent themselves on that man's arms said a whole lot about stuff. I'm telling you, ladies, the way you present yourself says a whole lot about you. The way you conduct yourself says a whole lot about you. And for men who are not strong enough, or not even strong, men who are not mature enough to communicate this and be explicit about what they want, they'll make suggestions about how you present yourself, but they won't come out directly. While they won't be direct with you about what they feel, there's other women orbiting their life, and you start to see this is where temptation takes place. Now, again, cheating is a character flaw of the person who's cheating. Let's put that on the table. Cheating is a character flaw of the person who cheated. But there are certain doors that people leave open in a relationship when they assume that it's going to always be the same. Ladies, if you have a good looking, successful man, there are other women who want him. Is that fair to say? You ladies in the chat, y'all talk to me. This is uncomfortable to talk about because, again, I come from the church world where no matter what, you guys stick it out. But we got to have some real conversations about the way the real world works. It's a very simple. Let's flip it. Most of you ladies, if let's say you weighed 200, you were 150 pounds overweight, and you start to lose weight. Both of y'all are overweight. Both of y'all are eating Happy Burgers, chicken McNuggets, you know what I mean? Slurpees and slushes and smoothies and shakes. Y'all both overweight. You start getting into shape. You start getting serious about your diet. You lose 100 pounds. You lose 90 pounds. You start dressing differently. The attention you start to get as a result of you taking care of yourself, you're going to see yourself in a new light, because not only have you elevated yourself in terms of the way you think about your health, but you present different. As you present different, you're going to get different opportunities. Now, you match that with a man who you're sleeping next to every night, who don't give a care about his health, don't give a care about his weight. He doesn't necessarily present well. And you'll start to feel like you're growing apart from your husband because the steps you're taking are steps that he's not. Can we just be, ladies, will you guys just be real with me tonight? And this is why it's important that if you're going to be in a marriage and a relationship, you both got to grow together, because if you don't, you are literally leaving the door open for temptation to come, because we've taught Americans in general, but particularly our women, that weight and size and the way that you appear doesn't matter. And this is why I have a healthy respect for women who come on and do content and they talk about the way that a woman dresses or the way that she looks and presents herself. She may not be a skinny sister, but one thing that she will do is she will present well. Because women who understand men understand that men are visual. And one of the first ways to gauge a man's attention is not your personality. The way you gauge a man's attention is by the way you look. And then what makes your looks stick is all the other stuff, is your presence, your spirit, your personality, so on and so forth. I'm telling you what most of you should have been taught by your father. The way you appear makes a difference. It is unfair to expect a man to want to come home to you all the time when you don't match him. All right, this makes sense. A salute to the Quiet Storm in the building. He says, peace or hell, just cloud watching while knocking out a bunch of college homework. Good to see you. The Quiet Storm is in the building. Right? That makes sense, ladies? Does that make sense? You got to match your man. I always believe this, that the woman should always look better than her man. That's just what I believe. And maybe this is old school and this is an antiquated thought, but I believe that women should look better than their men. Let me play a little bit more of this clip, y'all, and then we're going to move on to Keke Palmer and to Darius.
Or whatever. At this point, it was like, I already done checked out. I've been in the guest room over a year. But if we're going to give this a chance, you got to just set the boundary with your mom. You know, I ain't going to put words in your mouth, so I told her, but just let her know you love her and you appreciate her support, but you're committing to this. Tough.
So there it is, guys. So it's really not much to say here. Their relationship is pretty much over. But I will say, ladies, if you have chosen to forgive, and for men too, you've chosen to forgive in your relationship, you're going to have to keep people out of your business who either want you to stay and live out their aggressions through you, or people who are not giving you healthy advice on either how to stay or how to leave. Now, relationships are complex, and there are going to be people who stick around in marriages through infidelity. It's a very difficult thing to deal with, very difficult. But if you two are intending to reconcile, it's important to get around people who support that reconciliation while holding you both accountable. You're going to destroy your relationship by listening to people who are giving you bad advice on how to hurt the person you're with. All right, guys. If you guys feel that, let me know in the chat. Ladies, what are your thoughts on what I just said? What are your thoughts on what I just said? All right, guys, so we saw that. So now we got to get into the whole Darius and Keke deal. We got to get into it. We have got to get into it tonight. So you guys already know, you guys have already seen it. We don't have to go back through this whole ordeal. You guys saw it. You guys saw over these last few months, you guys have seen Kiki and Darius go through it. You guys have seen it. It is the infamous Kiki Palmer dances with Usher. And as a result of them dancing, the boyfriend becomes essentially, maybe he was a little bit jealous, but he spoke directly about what he saw. He sees his lady with Usher at a particular concert, and Usher goes over there and he does what he does. He serenades the ladies. He's doing what it takes to make a good show. This is what any good entertainer would do. You find other celebrities, you try to make a hit moment, and he did this. He found a moment. That moment blew up. Social media went crazy about what they saw. And then as a result of this, both Usher and Kiki Palmer come out with a song together. Now, I'm going to play this, but I think this is a level of pettiness that I don't think should ever be crossed. Not when it comes to the father of your children or to your spouse. I think this is a level of petty that shouldn't be crossed. But take a look at this. And we're going to get back and we're going to break this down. This is how it all started.
Congratulations!
Now, here's my thought on this. Ladies, if you got a man, ladies, listen, if you got a man, you don't ever be this close up on any other dude. I need to get on y'all ladies for a second, because some of y'all ladies, y'all got a whole men and y'all be giving full body hugs, thrusting your whole self on other men who are not your man. Let me tell you, even if your man doesn't say anything, I'm going to speak on behalf of your man. If you have a man in your life, the way that you present yourself is one thing, but how close you get to someone of the opposite sex is a whole nother thing. You don't ever hug or get up on some other guy in a manner similar to what you would do for your man. Not only is it disrespectful, but it signals that you don't respect him. There's got to be a certain level of distance you put between yourself and anybody else out of respect for yourself and out of respect for your man. Ladies, y'all feel me? I do this when I go speak at churches or I speak at different places, and I'll see a woman, she be with her man and just come and throw her arms right above my shoulders. Absolutely not, ma'am. I will stop you immediately. You're going to respect yourself and you're going to respect your man. You don't come through on your whole self on some other dude. There were some things that are just reserved for your own man. All right, let's get back to it. Being fast. Now, y'all see that? She having a good time with old Usher. Not only is the way she dressed something, not only is she on somebody else, but she's smelling and having a good time. I'm telling you, for a man who was not even secure, but for a man to see his woman on stage that close to another man having a good time, oh, it stings. It stings. So you could imagine her boyfriend hearing and seeing this on social media, how he thinks about this. And look at all of her fans in the background, just applauding her, keeping it going. And that right there is what sealed the deal. Let's do a double take. He's on stage. She's dressed. I want you guys to see the whole reason why everybody blew up. Y'all saw the dance, and take a look at this. This is why social media blew up. It wasn't because her boyfriend, called her out of her name. It wasn't because her boyfriend said she's nothing or she's nobody. It wasn't because her boyfriend was cheating. The father of her child was being disrespectful. She was out dressed a particular way with an audience, up close on another man, She had to shake it and she had to show the yams. She showed the cornbread fed yams, had a good time. And so the father of her kid sees this, and his response is, it's the outfit though. You a mom. Now, ladies, this is where I got to get on y'all. A lot of ladies complain that men don't want to be leaders and have standards. That most men have walked out of the family. Men are not stepping up to the plate, being the leaders that they're supposed to. This is what a lot of y'all sisters have said for years, that men are not stepping up. Men are not in the home. Men don't want to be providers and leaders. And in this instance, when a man simply looks at this particular situation, and here's his response, it's the outfit though. You a mom. He's not saying something that's untrue. He's not trying to demote her. He's literally looking at how his son is going to potentially see his mother, because it's on social media, it's on the internet, it's going to be around forever. He puts this call out and says, it's the outfit though. He didn't even say it's you on another man. He didn't even say you're too close to somebody else. He said it's the outfit though. And a lot of you women on there went off and said how Kiki should leave, how insecure this man must be for him to be tripping like this when this girl is just having fun. And all he said is the outfit though. That's all he said. And as a result of this, it blew up. It got bigger. It got so big to where we see a whole production as a result of this. I'm only playing a little bit because I don't want to get stricken for this, but you guys see, they made a whole video out of this whole ordeal. And the song is called Boyfriend. Now, we got to get into this tonight, y'all, because this is a new level, a new low that I can't respect. And as long as I've been doing these shows, I thought that modern women were the worst. I thought that modern women were the worst thing. This is why most of our conversations have been about modern women. But ladies and gentlemen, tonight, I think that there is something even worse than a modern woman. I think that there is something worse than a modern woman. You guys are not going to believe this. I think that there is something modern women, but if you thought modern women were terrible, there is something even worse. Modern women would do crazy stuff, but they would at least care about the children. They would at least try to be somewhat decent, at least for the kids. They don't really care about what happened with the guy. You know, they could find another guy. All modern women are 10s, and they have an unlimited supply of men who want them, particularly for marriage. But let me tell you guys what's even worse than a modern woman. If you're between 25 and 40, you're going to be upset with what I'm getting ready to say. What's worse than a modern woman is a modern millennial woman. My goodness.
Sir, hell, speak to me.
Modern millennial women don't give a care about how you feel. They don't give a care about the consequences of their actions. They don't. Hold on a second, y'all. Y'all a little too loud now. You guys hear this? You modern millennial women between 25 and 40. A lot of y'all don't give a care about your actions and the consequences. You don't give a care about what you do. There was no thought about the future, no thought about what's going to happen. Modern millennial women exhibit the highest level of pettiness. Now, ladies, I know you're not going to like this, but I'm telling you what I'm telling you. Modern millennial women who don't understand that their actions have consequences, that what they do today impact their tomorrow, particularly women who have not been taught by older women on how to respect relationships, how to govern their marriages, or how to raise children. Now, I'm gonna pause there. Ladies, am I lying about what I'm saying? Fellas, am I lying about what I'm saying? The real Serious B says, according to her, he approved the outfit before she left. Exactly. I don't know, but something ain't right there. It's all different. It's all different when you approve an outfit and then you see that outfit being sexy with another man. It's all good until that happens. What do you guys think about this? There's modern women. I say modern women are 40 and above. But modern millennial women, it don't care. She don't care. She will fight you at the airport. She will fight you at Walmart. She will cuss you out in front of anybody. She'll put all your business out on social media. Modern millennial women between 25 and 40 do not give a care about their actions at all. You will hear them say, well, this is my social media page. I get to do what I want to do. I can say what I want to say. I'm grown. I'm telling you it's different. At least modern women would care that they didn't want their kids to see certain things about them. They didn't care about what they didn't give a care about what about they didn't give a care about necessarily about what the man thought, but about their kids. There was a certain level of exposure that they didn't want their kids to see them in that light. There were certain things that they never want their kids to know about them. That's why a lot of kids didn't find out stuff about their mothers and fathers too until a funeral took place. Because back then, modern women, even though they had issues with men still, they still at least cared about how their kids saw them. But modern millennial women, gonna say and do what they want to do and don't give a care. And if you're gonna say something about it, they're gonna get just as petty with you. Chat, tell me if I'm lying. Chat, listen, y'all chat, tell me if I'm lying about what I'm saying. Just examine it. They will get on your level. You want to do something? You want to do something terrible? You want to be this way? Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Y'all chat, talk to me. Let me pause here for a second. So what we're seeing in this culture today is this is what we have to be careful for. And I've said this in a few shows back, that I think what we're seeing now is the consequence of millennials, of which I am. A lot of us were not parented. So it's hard for us to really think about the long-term consequences of our families and our relationships, because we were never put in a position for us to have these healthy relationships. And you see this playing out now. And here's really who's going to suffer. Here's really what's going to suffer. Guys, I understand she might be Gen Z, but I'm talking about not only her, I'm talking about what we see now. Guess who's going to suffer because of what we see now? Now, we think she's just being petty about her man. She thinks she's just being petty about the whole situation. But guys, let me tell you what's going to happen. Eventually, while we're having these arguments about men and about women, we're having these issues about women don't care about men and men don't care about women. Here's what we're missing. These kids are going to grow up, and all of this foolishness that we're doing online, our kids are going to see in the next 10 to 15 years. And guess what we're going to teach them? Let me give y'all some real truth. These kids are not as naive as you guys think they are. This is for mothers and fathers. I want you guys to listen to me carefully. Your kids are not as naive as you think they are. They are not as naive. If you do something to their parent and they don't know about it now, and you give them the whole story about why you and their parent are not together, why I didn't work out, and you give them a story, and they tap into that story and believe what's going on. And later in life, they find out after having a conversation with the other parent that there were more points to the story that you left out. A lot of us parents are going to be hated by our kids, not because of what we did to the kids, but how we treated their other parent. Is that making sense, folks? So this is why I say I'm looking at what I'm seeing from this particular whole ordeal. And whether we like this or not, we have impacted a generation in such a way where we're doing stuff online, we're breaking up families, we're promoting toxic behavior, and the only people who are going to be left to pick up these pieces are the kids that we leave behind. Ladies, what do you guys think about this? I'm dropping the link. I want to hear what you guys have to say about this. All I kept saying when I read these comments is about how insecure he is, Darius is, how he's insecure. He should have never said anything. And all he did was simply call out how she was dressed and reminded her that she was a mother. And as a result of this, the level of pettiness that she has gone down to disrespect him is unbelievable. If I'm not mistaken, I saw something from Media Takeout where now it looks like Darius is going after, I want to say the house and some child support or something else. I've got to look into the story, but we see the effects that are taking place even now. Trey says, I'm failing to see the consequences of Kiki's behavior that night. She got what she wanted, a kid and no man, which was ultimately what she wanted. I can agree with what she wanted. I think that this is a fair point. But I think the issue is the kid. There's a kid involved here. And that son is going to grow up and he's going to see this whole situation play out online, and he's going to see what happened back and forth. And kids, when they see one of their parents get disrespected, it does something to them. And that's really what I'm speaking to. Trey says he's insecure and hypocritical. In what way? And Lady Hell says they ain't married though. Even though that they're not married, when you have a kid together, you guys still owe something or at least respect to each other, even if you two are not married. This is the consequences of having children. Whether you like it or not, you two are bound together. And even if they're not romantically involved or even married, one thing that you always do is you respect the mother or the father of your kids. Right? Lady Hell says she's single. How he going after her house? I think it's more to it than that, but I think he's going after some stuff. Trey says he posted much worse pics of her on his Twitter, especially when she was pregnant. But the difference is, it's one thing when the man posts some things, but when she's out by herself, she's having a good time, hugged up on another man, this is where it goes to a different level, right? Right, she was in a bra and panties while pregnant. Look it up. I saw it. But again, was she hugged up on another man? You know what I mean? Was she dancing up? Was another man serenading her? I think that's the difference. So again, this is part of the reason why people think that the way he responded was off. But I'm telling you that even if he posted it and they agree, that's one thing. The issue here, he never really talked about it wasn't just, to me, it wasn't just the dress. It was the fact that she had on the dress and she was all up on another man. Does that make sense? Now, hold on. Let me pause here. Are y'all fellas on here who are telling me y'all saw this? Y'all wouldn't have felt some kind of way if your girl, even if you approved of her outfit, if she was up on another man. Y'all fellas telling me that you guys would be good with this. Ladies, are you telling me that if you had a girlfriend and her man saw her dress and approved of it, and then you saw your girl on stage hugged up on another guy, that y'all wouldn't have anything to say? I want to see this. I want to see where you guys are on this. Lady Navoy, what are you saying yes to? Is it that that there was no issue? There was no issue with what she was dressed on? Because I don't think the issue was what she had on by itself. I think the issue was it was a sexy dress and she was all up on somebody else. And not only was she on somebody else, she did the twirl and showed the yams. Trey says, I guess I disagree. The standard should be for modesty and conservatism as a baseline. Seems like he's picking and choosing when to have an issue. To that point, I can agree. I can agree with that. Yep. A salute to Lost in Translation Podcast. Good to see you, man. Glad that you were here. The Real Serious V says, I love you, Sir Harold, but I disagree. Being naked is being naked. And being on another man is being on another man. Right? So she was both. She was naked and on somebody else. Listen, if I don't care what man it is, even men who are professional actors, there were some situations that no man wants to see his girl in. Now, y'all could act like y'all don't understand this concept, but there were certain situations you never want to see the woman, the mother of your kids, you never want to see her in that light. And so he could have been insecure, he could have been immature, But again, we're talking about a celebrity who's well known, who's known to steal people's girls. You guys could imagine how listen, even if you guys disagree with Darius, y'all could at least understand where he's coming from. Y'all capping tonight. I never saw him say anything about her and Usher. I only saw him talking about her dress as it relates to Usher. Let's go back. Kiki says that he approved the dress before they left. It was only an issue when she's on the stage, she does the twirl, and there's something going on with Usher, right? It was the behavior. Absolutely. The Quiet Storm says, like I said, if my woman leave the house after I tell her to change clothes, it will be the last day she's my woman. That's a
Sir
fact.
Hell speaks in the building.
And to be quite honest with you, if a woman respects you, she knows boundaries. Now, a lot of y'all ladies act like a man has to tell y'all how to dress or how not to dress. A lot of y'all know better. A lot of y'all just be pushing your man's limits. But y'all know better. Y'all know how to conduct yourselves. And if you telling me you don't, I'm very concerned with how your daughters are going to turn out. Because if you don't know how to conduct yourself, then what in the world are you teaching your girls? Grego says, men who lost their balls allow their woman to do whatever they want, even if it's disrespectful toward them. That is a fact.
Sir Hell speaks in the building.
That is a huge fact. Honestly, she's single. However, the ladies I hang out with would not do something like that. However, she's single. He ain't her husband, and he was petty for publicly doing that. You know what? This is why a lot of women won't get married. This is why it's I understand that, but this is why a lot of women won't get married. Because the thought is, if I'm single, I can do what I want to do, and then when I get married, I'll just stop it. And the issue with that thinking is, you don't get married to become a wife. You're a wife, and that's why you get married. And I think that so many younger women believe that they can. This is why we talk about whole phases. We talk about women getting ran through. We talk about women not having the discipline, is because a lot of women have this perspective that they can live life and do whatever they want to do, however they want to do it. And a lot of our women are not taught to prepare themselves to be a wife. You guys remember when the whole Freaknik thing was coming out? You guys remember a few months back where there's a documentary that's supposed to be coming out about the Freaknik, and then how a lot of corporate women were working together to stop the release of this documentary from coming out? Is because at that age, you're taught to be free to do whatever you want to do. But even in that stage where you're free, you know that if it comes out, you can be free to do whatever you want to do, but it's not without consequence. And the truth is, for qualified men, the way he sees you and the way you conduct yourself publicly will literally impact your prospects for marriage. So I understand the fact that she is single and that she technically can do what she wants to do. And if she doesn't want to be married, then this doesn't apply. But I don't want women who want marriage, who want to be a wife and have a family, to believe that you can just do whatever you want to do because you're single. No, use your singleness as preparation for becoming a wife. Most women who don't do this end up not becoming a wife, or after they become a wife, they have unnecessary hardships because they didn't use their singleness for practice. That makes sense? Lady Navoa says, come on, boss, you know me. No, I was agreeing with you asked if we agree. It makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. Travel One says, Kiki is an actor. She is marketing. That's what entertainers do. Travel One, that is the most logical comment that I have ever seen you write. Keep doing that. I like it. If they're not married, honestly, he has no say. She ain't his girl. All right. So that kind of thought is, there's some truth to it. There's some truth to the fact that she's single, but to say that a man that she has, it's interesting. Having a kid with somebody is one thing. You can let somebody release in you, like that. Release in you, we can do that. But telling you you're dressed wrong, there's a problem because you're single. I think it should be reversed. I think that we should have children because we're married. You understand what I'm saying? I just think that what we're talking about, we're using singleness as a right to do whatever you want to do. Once you have a child, and somebody who cares about you, if you have your mentality of no one can say anything to me because I'm single, you're going to have a very hard life. You understand? Salute to Lost in Translation. He says, are we marketing disrespect? Travel One says he freely gave his seed to her. He picked her, but did not marry her. That's a fair point. Trey says, but he never addressed her behavior. He addressed her appearance. I think he addressed her appearance as a result of her actions. The Quiet Storm says, so I have to marry a woman to tell her my opinion, right? This after women say men don't voice their thoughts and feelings as it is. Absolutely. You see what I'm so ladies, do you guys see the conundrum that you create for men? You say you want men to take the lead, to take charge. And if you're telling men that the only way you have a say-so, and not even a command, but an opinion, the only way I can have an opinion is if I'm married to you. I want you to think about what that's signaling. That means you also don't have an opinion about him. That means you can't say, there is no guarantee that after you say I do, that mentality is going to switch. You understand? This is why I'm being very careful. This is why a lot of our millennial women, a lot of our women who are between 25 and 40 have this mentality. I told you this earlier in my show. Y'all was in the chat tripping. This is what I'm saying. A lot of millennial women their concept is I can do what I want to do because I'm grown and because I'm single and I got money and I can do without any thought about the consequences of their actions or the impact of their decisions. For everything you do, there is a consequence to it. And this is why fathers are so important, because we've signaled to our girls, do whatever you want to do because you're free to be you. And once they hit 40, once they hit 35 years old, the consequences of their decisions in their 20s smack them in the face. And then you hear women online talking about, I never had anybody to tell me this. I never had a mom to sit me down and tell me not to go out there and get pregnant by somebody who's not my spouse. Because if you do, there's no guarantee you're going to get married. And the level of strain it puts on you as a person being a single parent is rough, not to mention the impact to the child. A lot of people never had anybody to tell them how to conduct themselves going outside the house. And so you see fully grown women who come online, and thank God for channels like SBU Live or Take Heed to the Message or the Heritage Tribe Media Group or Red Lipstick Vibes, who speak on the issues of women in terms of what they need to do, because a lot of women never had somebody, particularly a woman, to tell them that there were consequences for your decisions. You understand what I'm saying? Inye says, the Quiet Storm is starting trouble. Absolutely. Trey says, yep, they think it's a light switch. Absolutely. The Quiet Storm says, I'm glad it's sparking the discussion. It's okay to disagree sometimes as long as it's respectful. Absolutely. Travel One says, why are black men picking black women then attempt to change them? So this is a very interesting question. Black men are not trying to change black women. Let's say, so when your kids are small, do you attempt to teach them right from wrong? Their nature is to be kids and to be mischievous and to be disrespectful and defiant. Does setting corrective measures in place for your kids, is that changing them? Or can you see something your kids don't see? Are you preparing them to understand that there are consequences for the decisions, and you're helping to shape your kids to have a better life? Let me give you a different example. Let's say you enter into a new organization as a new employee. Isn't there a period where you acclimate to the culture so that you make sure that you are representing the values and the ethics and the culture of that business so that you can help achieve business goals? Is that changing a person? No. What you're doing is you're setting boundaries in place because there's a goal for being at the organization. It's the very same thing for a relationship. Every relationship has a goal. And sometimes we bring in bad habits or a bad mindset into a marriage in which no one's trying to change you. But if you want to achieve this goals, there are certain changes that have to be made to reach it. All right. Lost in Translation said that was a bar. Trey says, I'm just getting to flip. I'm just getting to flip on being a husband. Until then, I'm in the streets. We're gonna talk with you about that, Trey. Corey Hager says, Sir Hale's podcast, not many wives in the world today. So guys, you guys get where I'm coming from. Older, like millennial women, I really want you guys to think about the impact that you are having on yourselves and on the generation under you as women. I really want you guys to think about this, because I see so many women between 25 and 40, their decisions are all about them and what they want now. You don't really hear them talking about legacy or life, not outside of owning a business, making some more money, and being able to travel. But you really don't hear people between 25 and 40 talk about the values they want to pass down. Like, when was the last time you talked to your girlfriend and she's developing values and culture to pass it down to her children? You don't hear this anymore. And this is why I'm doing this show. It's because so many of our women are suffering, and they are lost because they didn't have a woman to tell them the truth. Every woman is, you're single, do what you want to do until a man comes along. And a man is not going to come along to a chaotic woman unless that woman is at a position in her life where not only she sees herself as she is, but she has a desire to change and to be to a man what he needs her to be in his life. Make sense? Yep, realistic advice is the right now generation. Yeah. Is it making sense to everybody? So listen, I dropped the link in the chat. Did you guys disagree with what I said? I would love to hear you guys' thoughts. What did you guys think about this? I think that modern women are a problem. I do, because a lot of modern women became bitter because of hand-me-down trauma, in a lot of cases, some of the stuff that they dealt with as well. But I think these modern millennial women are different, because there is no concern about the future at all. Whatever they do, they don't understand the impact that is going to make on anybody around them, particularly their children. So I dropped the link for you guys. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts. Trey says, they don't talk about values when they link up. They just want to have fun. Absolutely. Absolutely. Nonia Bia says, this goes back to the old saying, can't turn a 304 into a housewife. Yeah. Travel One says, yes, the guy was trying to change her by attempting to shame her. So someone saying the outfit, though, you're a mom, that's not shame. That's a call to, let me ask you something. You guys ever have that uncle or that person in the community who works on cars or does something interesting, and when they're working on cars, the crack of their behind is showing? And that's just how they roll. That a place, they got a cigarette behind the ear, you know what I mean? Their hands all black because they've been working on carburetors and, engine oil and stuff. So their hands are black. And when they're working on cars, the crack of their behind is showing. If you go and say, pull up your pants, you're calling out that the crack of their behind is showing. Is not you're trying to change them. You're bringing attention to something that most people would want to cover up. That's what her boyfriend did. He was not attempting to shame her. All right. Okay, guys, good. Well, listen, this has been a good show. Trey says, are 45-plus-year-old women doing a good enough job of warning them of what's to come? I don't think so. I think older women collectively are silent. And that's my point, Trey. That's exactly my point. A lot of these young girls have no clue what's to come, because a lot of women are silent because either they made the same mistakes and are ashamed, or they wish they had the freedom, the perceived freedom, to act that way as well. So that's exactly what I'm saying. And that's a good point. Well, it's been a good show. Actually, I see Lady Navois here. I'm going to bring up one caller really quickly. So my question for you guys who are coming in is Kiki simply being petty, and has this pettiness gone too far in this whole situation? I want to hear from you guys. Lady Navoa is in the building. Lady Navoa, what's going on, and how would you like to contribute to this stream?
Hey, Ross, how you doing, man? How are you, sir?
Hey, I'm
I'm
good. How are you?
sorry. I got the camera off because
No, you're good.
I'm out. It's loud because I'm out in the world. I'm at the CBD store, but I was looking at the chat, reading the chat. I'm loving the chat comments. I'm loving it. This is good. I'm glad that you covered it, and I hear a lot of people say, "Well, she wasn't married." See, when Kiki did the first, the first take about when she was with Usher, she did what you showed the video on, and then what? How long after that the video with her and Usher came out? That was kind of like crazy, and TR broke down all the words to that song, and it sounded like it was meant for the baby daddy, so it was purposely made. As a lady, we have to be ladies no matter where we at, if we mothers or not. You're feminine. You're supposed to be made to be a woman, be feminine. When you become a mother, all that is supposed to change. But a lot of people don't look at it like that because they're grown. Kiki went from Keela to B. I'm sorry, I'm not feeling too well. I'm a little choppy. From Keela B, whatever that movie was, to now a possible not even showing that she's a 304, but you looking like one. Cause how you acting. And I don't know if you heard that rap she did. She said little booty
I've heard several
matters,
things. Yeah.
but my son, she thanked her son for give her some what's in it, some butt. If little booty matters, why you think your son for giving you butt in the song? Then you gonna say you don't need no money. I'm no man. You make your own cash and all that. Lady, how you get that son? How you get your son? Because of that man, you think he your son because he gave you some blood. How you get that baby? You did not create that baby like the Virgin Mary. So she just making herself look bad without even realizing it because all the thoughts are cheering her on. So she's happy and she don't realize. And everybody always like, well, look at Cardi B. Yeah, look at Cardi B. Cardi B, I see a mother. She take her kids to the Disney Ice World on Ice and all this stuff, whatever. That her daughters be looking so princess out, just nice. If you guys really pay attention to her, she's not on her rap talking about she don't need no man and all that. Yeah, she was when she was out and about before she mom. Yeah, she was doing a lot, but y'all seen a lot of slowing down on Cardi B. But Cardi B gonna always show her signature. So she say ass and do all that, but she's not out there doing the most to me, and that's what I think in that part. But Kiki Palmer needs to really get it. I thought she can be saved now because I had high hopes for her. She's very beautiful. And then when I seen her with the interview with Steve Harvey, and I was like, oh. So I don't know. I just have to just say that, but we have to be ladies when we in the streets too, in public, and who we betray because like we still got our families out there watching us too. It's embarrassing. And every time I see that she doing something stupid, I just shake my head because I can't say nothing about it. That's her life. It ain't affecting mine, but it's sad because now she's a single mother. You doing all that 304, but do you want to be a wife? If you be a wife, are you gonna be hustling your man, hassling him and nagging him on what you wear? First of all, we already know, or we don't know it's true. What they said is true that Usher got the the pack or whatever, and she over there swinging on him and then gonna show him her butt. What does that mean? What does that mean? And then she gonna do the cutoff like it's off limits or something. Come on, Kiki. Come on. We're looking at it different, baby. So it's a lot to it. So as ladies, like I said, we have to be more respectful. It's too much going on out there, and we showing how we show ourselves out there as women. These men are gonna keep talking about us and telling us we are the lowest to date, the U.S. women, and because of this. And stop embarrassing y'all, baby dad. So what if he had her be like Sir Hell said? And that's why I said break it down, Sir Hell, so they can get it. Teach Tariq, you know, she was with him, and a lot of ladies, and she had like she had a bikini on. A lot of women wear a bikini. I probably don't agree with the twerking part on the line, but he was there. It wasn't like she was with somebody else, so you can't use that all the time on her. So I'm done. So
Excellent. And Devon, I appreciate you coming up as a woman saying this because, like I said, I talk about these things. And Chad, I want you guys, because I saw you guys saying that she wasn't a millennial. In the chat, put the years that you have to be born in to be a millennial in the chat for me. Yeah, put the years. You're a millennial if you're born between what years? Put that in the chat for me, guys. Bladen Avoid, thank you for coming up here as a woman.
can I say
want
one
more
more
women
thing,
to hear
Sir?
more women. Yeah, I want more
Sir,
women to come up here and hear other women talk about these things because not a lot of women hear enough advocates and women who really are pushing for other women to be not only just modest but respectful of themselves. So thank you for that.
hey, just one more thing, boss, and I'm gonna shut. Cause I just read some comments. I'm seeing comments of she shamed him in public. He should shame her, you know, in public, yada yada yada. He should have never shamed her in public. Speak to her in private. Yeah, he did. First of all, she shouldn't have left the house like that. But you can't do tit for tat, you know, with each other. You know what I'm saying? If he was late, saying that he should have said it at home before she left the house. If they lived together, he seen how she was dressed up and how she was going out. He should have known where she was going for
So
her
like,
to dress like that.
so logically, I get what you're saying, but let me tell you something. So whenever it shouldn't matter when you call out something.
No,
Like, as I thought about this, it really went because at first I thought it was a bad thing for him to call it out on social media,
yes,
but I don't think that was a bad thing. I think
no,
him saying, "But you're a mom," him saying, "Is the outfit though? You're a mom." That wasn't a bad thing to say.
it
I
wasn't.
think that people have more to say about his response and when he just reminded her that you're a mama and pretty much that what you do is going to be seen by your son. People have much more of a response for that than they have on Kiki being the one who does something to warrant a response. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah,
applaud the young man for saying something.
I agree. But what I was saying about that, agree with that. But what I was saying about that, yeah, he should have said something in public. But now she in public and he said it. You know what I'm saying? That maybe he got that feeling like I ain't feel like this because now the attention's on her. I don't know. I'm not making excuses for him why he did it, but he said some, and after what she do, what was her response? She dances up on Usher. Cameras, you already know, Kiki. You gonna have the cameras on you, baby. Somebody caught that. The phone's already always out. They always out. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to tit for tat. He said he didn't like it. You didn't have to go up there and dancing all on him, putting your arms around him, then turn around like you did doing the cutoff, like off limits. Nah. First of all, no disrespect as a woman. I wouldn't be dancing up on no man if I already know he's dirty like that. I wouldn't make him think that I'm feeling him like that, even if I'm gonna hit or not. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Okay. Well, everybody in the chat, y'all show some love to Lady Navoy. Y'all know she's the number one moderator of the channel. Y'all show some love to Lady Navoy. And thank you so much for being here as a wife, as a person who really advocates for women being women. I
You
appreciate
know
you
I
so much.
got you, boss. Keep doing what you're doing, and I got you. You already know. Hey, y'all hit that like, share, and subscribe. You know, just because I'm up here, I'm still moderating. But subscribe, and if you have it, share it to somebody. Invite a friend to the next live. We appreciate it. If you want to sponsor tonight's live, you can. You can do it via Cash App, PayPal, or Super Chat. And we appreciate it, and we appreciate y'all, and I love y'all, and I'm out. All right, boss.
I appreciate you. Thanks so much. Now, listen, now you guys were on here in the comments talking about she's Gen Z. From what I see, if you're a millennial, if I want to say if you were born between 1981 and 96, in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong. If that is the case, Keke Palmer was born in 1993, which would make her a millennial. Y'all gonna listen, y'all gonna learn how to show some respect when y'all come to Sir Harold Speaks. I don't just be talking at the crack of my behind. I'm talking about what I know and what I observe. She was born in 93. She is a millennial. All right. A salute to Corey Hager's in the building. She's in the building. Guys, I want you guys to understand, when I come on here and I do shows, I'm not just coming on here saying stuff because it's what I feel. There's an amount of research that goes into it so that when you're making points, you're not just throwing around opinions hoping something sticks. When I talk about modern millennial women, I'm talking about millennials who have been influenced by modern women to not only not care about what they do in terms of being marriage material, but a lot of women don't even care what they do in terms of being mother material. And so that's what I speak to. Corey Hager's in the building. Corey Hager, how are you? And what would you like to add to the stream today?
Well, Sir Hill, thank you for having me up here.
Excellent. Yeah, good to see you, man. Thanks for being here.
I remember a gentleman saying, hire the boss chick and marry the maid.
I remember that guy as well.
Sir Harold Speaks in the building.
When you think about it, a boss chick does not like to take orders. She's a boss. She's going to do whatever she wants. And she's entitled, spoiled, capable, financially set. She don't need permission. Marry the maid. Have children with the maid. Why are these guys walking around being sperm donors? I don't understand that. They're getting tied up for the next how many years of their life? Okay, not years, decades. Let's put it in perspective. It's decades. When you're a dad, it's forever. And that's the mom you made the kid with. I don't know. To me, the maid is way more down to earth, more agreeable. Family get-togethers would be a lot more pleasant. I'm sure the atmosphere would be way more relaxed than everybody competing. Just me, But, when you look around and you see all the entitled, and I have to say spoiled, because I see it in men and women both. There's this spoiled mentality where I want what I want. I don't care if it offends you or hurts you or you suffer, or I don't care about your reputation. If you say anything to me publicly, then I'm going to drag you, and I'm going to have a herd or a mob help me drag you. And we all know how women don't like to be told what to do in public, but they love to drag men and openly shame them for quite a while. But it's actually one of their superpowers is talking, so they use it to their advantage. But yeah, hire the boss chick, marry the maid.
It is a reason why I said that. Absolutely. Listen, I appreciate that callback. I appreciate it. And this is why I say this, is because to have that heart to serve not just your interests, but your family, that takes a certain level of training and a level of humility that so many of our modern millennials just don't have. Now, part of it is because they haven't gotten it for themselves. But if we're being honest, I think that the millennials are this is a less parented generation. And so we've been conditioned to chase bags, and we have no concept of family or how our decisions now are going to impact our future. So I think there is a whole lot to consider, but there's a reason why I call modern women 40 and above, and then modern millennials, women who are between 25 and 40, who have been influenced by modern women.
It's interesting because I'm 53, so I'm not really sure where I fall into any of this stuff anymore. Because, I could be single for a while and probably okay with it because, oh my God. When you think about the damage somebody can do that has no self-control, because spoiled people don't have self-control. They can cost you business contracts.
Mhm.
They can cost you all kinds of stuff. They have no common sense. I mean, it's just when you're with someone or have children with someone, you are literally representing them publicly and in the financial market. I mean, it's your brand together. It's not just his brand and you're just the mom or the whatever. You're seen as one unit. People are so much wrapped up in this. I'm independent. I'm an individual. I'm single. I'll have the kids. I'll make the bag. I'll do all this, but I'll stay single so nobody can tell me what to do. Well, that's fine, but don't expect anybody to commit to you either. And it's pretty lonely when you're 80.
Absolutely. Loneliness, actually, what's interesting about loneliness is I did a show about this, is loneliness is increasing for everybody. There is a literal pandemic of loneliness. And I don't think people understand that your decisions today impact your outcomes tomorrow. How you treat a person today is what you get tomorrow. And if you don't facilitate and nurture and foster healthy relationships, it's very unrealistic to expect to have companionship and friendship with somebody who you took for granted. So I think I think you're making a fantastic point, but I just think that loneliness starts a lot earlier.
Well, I look at it this way because I got gray on my face and a lot of it. I can't tell you how many times I have had ladies 50 and older shout me down in the parking lot because they need me to help them get something out of their shopping cart because they can't pick it up and put it in the car. These are strangers. Ain't none of them married either. All their hands are bare. You know what it's going to be like when you get these spoiled millennial boys that are just going to keep right on walking? Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know you nothing, lady, and just keep right on pushing.
Yep.
But anyway, I'll stop right there. I'll land the plane. Thank you for having me up here.
I appreciate you coming up because, like I said, I don't want to put fear in people's hearts, but we need to give people the truth about what's to come in their life. And if we don't take time to really understand that the way we as parents treat the other parents and the way we show respect, we can literally be the ones to make our children hate us later for how we treated treated the other parent. And my concern is that a lot of women don't care about this because they're living for now and no one can tell them anything. And so I appreciate you coming up and saying that because I think what you spoke was absolute facts.
Thank you, Sir Hill.
Yep. Everybody in the chat, y'all know what time it is. Everybody type Corey. I appreciate you coming up here, man. Thank you so much. As always, I appreciate you. Yeah, guys, that was good. Absolutely. Yes. See, when your man is on here giving some facts, have your man's back. Absolutely. Even if I was off, have your man's back. Dia says, I agree, Corey. Lady Novoa says, that's confusing. I just say young and old, middle age, halfway. Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, listen, this has been a good show. Ladies, I want you guys, particularly if you're between 25 and 40, I want you to be serious. I want you to be thoughtful about what you do and about your decisions today. The truth is a lot of you did not have the mother or the example in your life to give you perspective on how to make the right steps for the life you wanted to have. And a lot of you guys are just figuring stuff out as you go along. And for so many, it takes some type of trauma or some type of big blow up in your life for you to learn a lesson. And I want to serve as sort of a coach for you to let you know that don't wait until something happens. Don't wait until your family is broken up or your kids have to go to therapy before you really look at yourself in the mirror. Like, understand that your decisions now, they have consequences. And although you might not see it later, and although you probably have friends who are encouraging bad behavior now because they wish they were in your shoes, I'm telling you, what you do in your 20s and your 30s is what you have to live with in your 40s and going forward. So make better decisions. As always, y'all, I love you. I'm hoping and I'm speaking the best over you. And I hope that something that was said in the show today resonated with you. I want to see quality women be quality women and get quality men. And I want to see men who are putting in the work and the effort to be great men to have the life and the wife that they want. Much love to everybody. It's been a dope show. Until next time, Sir Hell Speaks. We're out the building.
Let it go. 얼어붙어 like whoa. 띵하고 어지러워. I see. 한여름에도 넌 겨울. Yeah, yeah. 너와 있을 때 I swear. 제가 먼저 zero. 폭설한 기출들. 꿈에도 I wasn't aware. 나만 빼고 넌 모두에게 참 친절해. 배신감이 들어 단판이 태도 머릿속을 흔드니 ibuprofen 그만해 it's time to stop. 승부욕을 자극하는 style yeah. 알면서도 마음이 자꾸 내게 가 안만 빠져버릴까. If you want me back I'll tell you I'm sorry. If you want me back I'll tell you stop trying. Yeah, you got me. Let it go. 얼어붙어 like whoa. 띵하고 어지러워. I see. 한여름에도 넌 겨울. Yeah, girl you cold-blooded. Yeah, girl you cold-blooded. Yeah. Girl you cold-blooded. Girl you cold-blooded. I'm like frozen 뭐야 모두 stress은 gotta let it go 했어. 소개팅 데이팅 어플 다 깔아도 보았어. 반대가 끌린대 opposites attract. Don't know about me and you, yeah we fell into the cracks. Yeah 갖고 너네 no cap. 왜 나는 보여 what's happening. 객관적일 수가 없이 이미 game white flag and wave it fast. Yeah I'm leaving back but 말은 don't 너만 보면 나도 내 맘 I don't know 이건 love a relationship. 헷갈리기만 해 girl. I'll tell you I'm sorry. If you want me back I'll tell you stop trying. Yeah, you got me. Let it go. 얼어붙어 like whoa. 띵하고 어지러워. I see. 한여름에도 넌 겨울. Girl you cold-blooded. Let it go. 얼어붙어 like whoa. 띵하고 어지러워. I see. 한여름에도 넌 겨울. Girl you cold-blooded. Yeah, girl you cold-blooded. Girl you cold-blooded. Girl you cold-blooded. Yeah, girl you cold-blooded. Girl you cold-blooded. Girl you cold-blooded.